Hello everybody, this is the writer of Asime What Ifs. I'm kind of irritated right now because for me, you can tell it's 12:35 in the morning. And this is my third time recording this. Because I'm trying to make it the best quality I can for you guys. And I just finished watching Asime's video, the one we posted earlier yesterday. And I was really impressed with how he did it. I know I can't send him the videos to put him edited anymore for reasons. So most of the videos I do won't have an intro. Yeah, but this is What If Rimuru Tempest. Not Rimuru Tempest, it's just Rimuru. What if Rimuru was reincarnated into the Naruto universe? Now, this what if is going to be themed around the main character Rimuru. But we will throw in, maybe a couple episodes about Naruto and Hinata and people like that. Or maybe we might even do, Sasuke. Yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of Sasuke. Well, this is this is gonna be the thumbnail. Let's get started with what if. As a magic missile, how do I explain it? You know how a fireball is shot out? And there's just, that backlash, and that's what it looks like. A giant missile is hurling towards Rimuru's town. Just outside of it, from that one scene. And Rimuru starts to rush to get there. And he sees Soe, his secretary, and the red-haired ogre fighting Malim, the dragon demon lord. She's beating the shit, absolute crap, of Soe, Benimaru, I remember his name, Benimaru, and Shion was her name. Shion, Benimaru, and Soe. I'm sorry, they have such similar names, just it makes me forget. They're fighting Malim in a close quarters battle. They are being demolished. I mean demolished. Rimuru's booking it to save them. Just straight running. And as he gets about... I'm an American, so I measure in feet, and I know none of the rest of the world does. But I'm trying to think. I'm gonna measure in yards. Okay, he's about 50 yards away. He can probably get there if he was running top speed, he could probably get there in about 3 seconds. So Ranga leaps out of his shadow, grabs him by the collar, and starts running the other direction. Rimuru's like, Ranga, get off me. I need to help him. Because Rimuru's staring at Soe getting beat. His face is bloody. Just covered in blood. As he's watching this, he can't stand it anymore. He says, Great Sage, take over. Great Sage takes over because Great Sage has no emotion. She completely plants her feet. Because Great Sage has a girl voice, she completely plants her feet in the ground, stands up, pushes Ranga off, and starts walking towards Malim. Malim, seeing the strength demonstrated, throws them across the forest. It would take everybody but Soe, since Soe has shadow movement. It would take everybody but Soe at least 5 to 10 minutes to get there. So, what Rimuru does is he walks up to Malim, and let's back up a little bit. After being thrown across the forest, it'll take everybody but Soe 30 minutes. No, 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes to get there. But Soe was knocked out on impact. So Rimuru tells Great Sage she can take over from here, and they both walk up to each other. And Malim introduces herself as the Demon Lord. And Rimuru says, okay, so why are you in my town? Malim says, I was interested in you and saw that you defeated the Orc Lord. Rimuru, being shocked, is saying, I see, so that means the other Demon Lords must know about this too. Malim starts talking about how she wants to have a duel, because his henchmen showed her such disrespect. She starts explaining the rules as if it's a one-hit duel. You get one hit per person until the other person dies. Malim says this is non-negotiable. And Rimuru, not wanting to make Malim even madder, accepts. And since she goes on about how, since she initiated the challenge, you can have the first hit, Rimuru. Rimuru contemplating with Great Sage, asking, is there any move in my arsenal that can defeat her? And And Great Sage says no, but we might be able to make one. Great Sage says, using Degenerate, it allows you to defuse, take apart skills, and infuse skills. I am able to make a skill fused with your Predator skill, a skill that can eat anything, your Black Flame skill, a skill that can burn anything, and Black Lightning, your most powerful magic type skill. Rimuru says, if you think it'll work, we can give it a shot. Great Sage saying, it's your highest possible chance of winning. Rimuru says, okay, let's go. And he says, Great Sage, since I don't know how to use this skill, you go. And Rimuru says, activate Great Sage. As Rimuru activates Great Sage, Malim has a worried look on her face, not knowing about this skill. Great Sage draws Rimuru's sword, and suddenly there's an electrical aura, fire radiating off Rimuru's sword, and then his sword turns white as he slashes towards Malim's neck. A slight bit of hair is in the way. Rimuru and Great Sage, not minding much of this, slice. And within that second, the sword broke. Her hair was like steel or something stronger. It was such a durable material that the sword broke on impact. Even the skills backing it, the material just wasn't strong enough. Malim says, I was worried there for a second. My hair would have been the way I actually would have pierced my skin. Rimuru is telling Great Sage, measure her magicules, and then him seeing they were 9 times his. Rimuru, looking in shock, wonders to himself, did I ever stand a chance? And in that thought, he was evaporated by one of Malim's punches. And after that, Malim said, well, that wasn't very much fun. And then time stops. Rimuru is in that state. Since he has no physical form, he's at what he thinks is a death screen. And for some reason it says, would you like to continue or forfeit? Rimuru taps continue. And Great Sage says, analyzing last wishes. Rimuru says, Great Sage, I would like a conversation. Great Sage obliges, and it extends his time limit from 60 seconds to 5 minutes. He says, I would like all my abilities in this life. After asking what the world is I'm reincarnated into. He says, it's a world where magic doesn't exist. It's a world where life energy, the form of magic in this world, is used in different manners, not with materials or words. It doesn't have more or less skills, but you can have unique skills. Rimuru says, okay then, perfect. Since magic isn't useful in that world, I would like all my skills to be transferred as unique skills. Or, as they say in this world, dojutsu. Great Sage says, that can be arranged, but you won't be able to unlock them right away. He says, okay, that works. And then I'd like to add a condition. If I ever feel extreme emotion or traumatization, I'll receive all my memories if it's extreme enough. Other than that, I would like to retrieve my memories when having a near-death experience. Great Sage says, okay then, that means you want your memories locked? Yes. I'd like to have a normal childhood and not feel this pain until I'm strong enough to confront it. What do you mean confront it? I would like to add one more skill to my abilities. A gate skill, that if I'm not in your dimension, time stops. And Great Sage says, okay, that skill can be used, but it can only be used if you meet the requirements you're specifying. That skill will take an extreme amount of magical energy, so it'll take at least half of your current reserves. Rimuru says, that's a fair deal, I can take that. And then begins asking for what it will be like when he's reincarnated into this new world. He requests for a baby-like version of his form, and that when he becomes around 16, he will look like he does now. And he says, no, not 16. Let's go with 18 to 19. Yeah, it's 18. I prefer to look like this when I'm 18. Can you make it to where my body doesn't want me to cut my hair? Because it reminds me of Shizu. Great Sage says, it's kind of rude of me to tamper with your thoughts, but I can. And he says, that should be all my wishes then. Great Sage says, okay then. Wait. Rimuru says, wait, I have one more request. Since I am technically a slime, I would like to be able to transform when I gain that ability. And as I pass through this life, I'd like to gain abilities that can only be gained in this world. Great Sage says, that'll be difficult, but I think I can manage. One more thing, says Rimuru. I'd like to keep all my items, because Shizu's mask is precious to me. Considering they're all inside of your skill predator, they can be transferred. Thank you, says Rimuru. Please begin the process. Great Sage begins the process, and he says, okay then. Time for your new life as a human to begin. And now we switch perspectives. Minato is currently battling with Obito. I'm not sure how the battle went exactly, because I haven't gotten that far in the show, but I have finished the base Naruto. Not Shippuden, the base. Minato is battling with Obito. And as the fight continues, it gets to the stage where Minato is about to perform the Reaper Death Seal. And he thinks to himself, I'd give nearly anything to stay here with my wife and son. As he said that, time stopped. And he's in a black room with a woman. I'm gonna go find a picture for Great Sage. BRB. I just want to say shout out to Anime Wallpaper Nexus. That's the person who has this photo. This is what Great Sage female form looks like. Any other time, she's just a cat. This woman appeared in Minato's head after saying he would do anything to be with his wife and son. And Great Sage asks, are you willing to make a deal? I'll give you time with your son. In exchange, you'll have you'll have to use your sealing jutsu to seal 2 halves of the 9 tails within 2 separate boys. You'll have to take on a second son. You'll have to give your first son, the one you will be getting if you do accept this contract, and your second son will be, your first son will be named Rimuru Namekaze, but your second son will have to take on your wife's name. Minato asks, why is that? To avoid confusion, because many people call each other by their last names in the place where this boy is from. And he might call his younger brother Uzumaki from time to time. They will both wear the same crest, but chances are on most of your first son's clothing, there won't be a crest, for he is from another kingdom. I'm gonna go get the other wallpaper, BRB. And shout out to Elizabeth Lua for making this awesome wallpaper. Just want to point that out, that way I'm not stealing credit from anybody. Okay. Those are my conditions. And if this deal comes through, you will not speak a word of me, or the deal is automatically retracted and your life will be sacrificed. Minato says, well, that's a little harsh. It's not, actually. This is a very rare occurrence. I'm willing to save you and your wife's lives in exchange for this deal. Minato says, as soon as you said you could save my son and my wife, the deal was already done. Richard says, oh, well, I guess the formality should end here. I will be sacrificing one of my lives in order for you to do the jutsu. The Reaper Death Seal is the only jutsu that will be effective enough to seal it in with 2 boys. Oh, and your wife? She'll think you had twins. But if she asks about the hair color, say it was due to the extreme transformation. And if she asks about the transformation, say the 9 tails looked at it funny. Minato has a little giggle and says, okay, you're a funny lady, you know that? And then signs a contract. As chains go around both parties. And it's done. To the entire village, including Kushina, it looks like Minato has 6 arms and is performing 3 different jutsu. The Reaper Death Seal and 2 extreme forms of medical ninjutsu. Both of their wounds are healed. The 9 tails is sealed within both boys, but due to the anomaly that Minato was performing, they had their eyes on him. Nobody noticed he sealed half the 9 tails within 2 boys. And to avoid a power struggle, Minato only said that Naruto was the 9 tails Jinchuriki. After the contract took place, Obito was pissed. He was like, how in the fuck did this man seal the 9 tails within a boy after being stabbed through the chest? He performed 3 jutsus at once. That's not even possible. I don't care how fast he is, he cannot perform 3 jutsus at the same time. Obito runs off before Minato has the chance to catch his breath. He looks at his new son and says, "Hello there, Rimuru." And the baby's yellow eyes stare back. You're probably wondering, but in the photo, he has red eyes. Wanna know who else has red eyes in the show? Sasuke. Spoilers? Not spoilers? You'll find out. Yeah, this is probably one of the longer what ifs you heard. I talk a good bit when I do this. And there's still a lot more to go. Jesus. Where was I? Oh yeah. He was staring at Rimuru's yellow eyes and said, "So you're my new son, eh?" And then looked over to Naruto and said, "I hope you're the bestest brothers." Kushina's standing there and says, How did I survive that? I was stabbed through the chest and I had a 9 tails ripped out of me. How am I alive? Minato says, "I discovered a new form of healing jutsu that takes nearly half my soul to perform. And combined with the Reaper Death Seal, somehow I found a loophole. But the loophole demands that I can never share secrets about the events that happened during the day." Kushina accepts this, considering it's a new jutsu, and hugs her 2 sons and starts to cry. "I get to live my life, precious baby," she says. I am so confused right now. Well, I'm just going to talk for a quick second. If you don't want to listen to it, I'm going to talk for about 30 seconds, so skip ahead. Hello, everybody. The new OVA of That Time I Got Reincarnated Slime is on YouTube. It's the 5th episode. It's killer. I really liked it. I got like a whole nother page of this shit to read. Yes, this is a scripted video. I'm thinking about making it a little shorter. You know, just because this is the first episode, making it a special. This is going to be probably around a 40-minute what if. So if you're not in for it, please like. Just kidding. Okay, as she says, "I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with these 2 beautiful boys." We cut to 2 young boys playing with their father in the Hokage's office. Thus, this is Minato and his 2 sons, Rimuru Namikaze and Naruto Uzumaki. Later that day, Rimuru met with his sensei, Shisui. He had been being taught a lot about kunai, trajectory, wind speed, and velocity on kunai. He wanted to be the most precise ninja ever. For his father was the fastest. His brother had the most chakra he's ever seen. His mother was strong. And if nothing else, he would be precise and intelligent. This might not be if I keep going on the script, this might just be a 30-minute life. Seeing how Shisui had been so precise with his kunai and swordplay, he decided to train under him. Oh, and this what if, Rimuru was 2 months older than Naruto, but because of his, increased, life, I guess, since he's lived 2 lives, he has a faster learning pace. So to everybody else, he's 2 years older in mental, and looks like he's about a year older. But in reality, they're only 2 months apart. If you're asking why, it's because Kushina had a near miscarriage, but they got rimuru out in time. So he was born slightly early, which gave him time to learn. But he was the kind of child who had a very short memory until that moment, because the body was just developing. So rimuru didn't have it. Okay, back to the Shisui part. He had been training under Shisui because of his Sharingan. He wanted his eyes to be as precise as Sharingan without the Keki Genkai. And even though Shisui thought it to be impossible, his eyes moved as fast as a one-to-Moe when he started. And by a year, not by a year, let's say he started training with Shisui when he was 4. But when he was 6, let's go with 6, yeah. When he was 6, his eyes were as fast as a 2-to-Moe Sharingan. And now we cut back to the day where they're playing in the Hokage's office. Naruto has been training with his father to increase his speed and learning new jutsu. Due to the Nine Tails blocking off his chakra, he hasn't been able to learn next jutsu. But Naruto, due to his increased learning speed, he taps into the Nine Tails chakra and sees an angry Nine Tails staring at him and says, "Who are you?" The Nine Tails smirks and says, "Well, you see, little boy, I'm but a fox spirit. I've been trapped in here due to some unforeseen circumstances. Do you mind letting me out?" Kurama trying to trick the boy and saying, and then Rimuru having about a 4-year-old face, looking about to be about 4. And his face saying, "Oh, really, Mr. Fox? Do you have a name, Mr. Fox?" And Ninetails looking at Rimuru. Veins start to bulge out of his eyes. "Why, yes, my name is Kurama." Kurama being reluctant to tell the boy, but desperate to be freed from the cage in order to be reunited with the other half of his soul. Rimuru's expression changes to a man with extreme experience, and a man who has fought so many battles, his soul has been hardened. And his eyes turn red. "Hello, Fox Spirit Kurama. I am Great Sage, this boy's protector." Kurama being shocked, saying, "What do you mean? There cannot be more than one spirit in this vessel. I am not a spirit. I am something more. I am something that was born with this boy." Kurama being shocked, Great Sage walking up to the seal and casts a burning effect on it due to his magic. Kurama starts to feel fire and is in pain. Great Sage lifts the seal. Not the one that keeps him in the cage, the one that was burning him. Lifts the seal, and Kurama stops feeling the pain. Kurama, his pain was as if his soul was burning. His very spirit. Kurama looking to be in such pain that he would bow down to Rimuru in order for it to stop. The fox spirit raises its head. "Please do not harm me." As Rimuru releases the aura held by Valdora. And as soon as he does it, Nine Tails feels something stronger than a 10 Tails. And that's when Kurama gets on his hands and knees and begs for mercy. Rimuru walks to the cage and tells the fox to raise his head. The fox feeling a merciful touch, the young boy returns and says, "Hello, Mr. Fox. Kurama. Hello, young boy. I am Kurama, the Nine-Tails fox. I apologize for anything I may have said to you that was a lie. Great Sage returns. I want to make a deal with you, Kurama. Yes, my lord? Kurama starts referring to him as my lord because of his show of power. Kurama always respected the fact that he was the strongest tail, so when he felt something that was stronger than 10 tails, he felt increased respect for it. And he assumed that Great Sage held that power, not the spirit within it. As Great Sage tells the boy, this boy is going to remove your seal. You are going to give him complete control over your power. I don't want to see anything happen to this boy. I do not want him to unlock the chakra cloak mode. Yes, I know about it. Or perfect form until he is out of the academy. Kurama saying, yes, I will do so. As Rimuru returns, Kurama raises his head and asks the boy to remove the seal. He promises nothing will happen to him. As he sees a scroll next to him, Kurama tells the boy to pick the scroll up, unravel it, and turn the symbols. Rimuru does this. If you're wondering how we got the key, Rimuru made one because of the skill Analyze. He analyzed the seal and reverse engineered the key. As Rimuru turns the seal, Kurama is unleashed, and he has the power to access full Kurama Cloak mode. But he doesn't, because Kurama does not let him use his chakra. But Kurama does unblock his pathways. Okay, that was all real big backstory in order so I can explain the next part. Like I said, he was training with Shisui. And the day he was playing with his brother and his father in the office, he walks up to Naruto in the hallway and says, while we're playing with Dad today, I want you to test your skills. As he hugs Naruto, he enters this mindscape and sees Kurama. And Kurama says, who are you? And what are you doing in this boy's mind? Hello, Kurama. Being confused on how this boy knows his name. Kurama, he talks, Great Sage is activated. And he says, hello, Nine-Tails Fox Spirit, Kurama. Rimuru enters his mindscape and tells Kurama to unleash full Nine-Tails Cloak. And Kurama sees a boy by the age of 6 with a mastered Nine-Tails Cloak. Kurama feared for this power. For a boy at his age should not be able to activate a power this strong. And he says, what do you want from me? Well, you see, when my father sealed you away, he sealed half of you in me, and half of you in my brother here. I want you to unblock his pathways. Kurama agrees, not wanting to be bodied by Rimuru, considering he has the power of the full Nine-Tails, but he doesn't know this is Great Sage. He unblocked his pathways, and they come out of mindscapes, and Rimuru has obviously deactivated from Great Sage and Kurama Cloak mode. He tells Naruto, try to use any jutsu, the simple one Dad taught you, like walking on balls. He tries it, and he says, I've never been able to use jutsu this well before. What's happened, brother? He says, I don't know. I just can't. Let's say Rimuru has about a 2-year gap, always, in knowledge. So, right now, he'd be about the stage where he just joined the academy, in knowledge-wise. But since his father's a full Hokage, let's say, he gave Rimuru extra tutorage, and Naruto, he told the whole village that Naruto's Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, he gave him more chakra control lessons. So, Rimuru was the smart one. Naruto was the one who studied chakra control in jutsu. But Rimuru was always there in the background. so he learned everything just as well. Rimuru says, well, you see, I had a talk with a friend of mine and learned how to unblock your chakra pathways. For some reason, you had some blockage. I think it was something you ate, said Rimuru jokingly. As they walk into Hokage's office and start playing, Naruto activates the Shadow Clone Jutsu at age 6, and the entire room is covered. Minato is shocked and says, how is my son able to do this? The Nine-Tail should be blocking his pathways. As Rimuru activates the Shadow Clone Jutsu as well, and they use the brother style, Namikaze Uzumaki Mirage, as they tackle their father, and he's down for the count. Rimuru, being the fastest ninja, throwing his kunai out the window and using the flying Raijin to teleport. And them saying, man, we almost got him that time. Okay, now, Rimuru goes to see Sensei Shisui for some tutorage, but Shisui was attending an Uchiha clan meeting. So, Rimuru figured he'd wait till the end and watch in the ceilings, because it was an Uchiha clan meeting. Most of the time, Shisui said it was about crop rotations. So, he's watching from the ceiling, and he hears something horrible. The clan leader is planning an assassination on his father Minato, the Hokage. They plan to take over the Leaf Village Konoha. Shisui saying, no, you can't do that. They've housed us for too long. And then saying, we figured you and Itachi would be opposed. Itachi was opposed. So what they did was, they grabbed him and attempted to put him in a Genjutsu with their Sharingan, with the clan leader's Sharingan. But Shisui activating his Mangekyo Sharingan and canceling their Genjutsu out. And then he uses the Krogan Jutsu to make it look like he was teleporting away to all he knew. But he didn't know Rimuru was there. So to Rimuru, it looked like he ran out of the building. So he followed. Turns out Shisui was going to see Danzo to report this. Reluctant to betray his clan, but could not let this happen to Konoha. I'm sorry, I've been talking this whole time and my mouth's kind of dry. Oops, let's click. Okay. Pause real quick, get something to drink. Okay, I'm back. So Shisui was going to tell Danzo about the betrayal of the Uchiha clan. When he arrived, he explained the entire incident. Rimuru was using a sort of transformation jutsu to make himself an insect, an ant, on the wall. Hearing the entire conversation, and now we see Dr. Shisui's perspective. He runs into the bamboo Black Ops and says, Danzo, we need to get to the Uchiha village. They're planning a rebellion. They may be here in 9 hours, at least, at the most. Danzo's saying, really? We must hurry then. And Shisui says, thank you for understanding, as Anbu blocked the door and throw kunai at Shisui, hitting him in the back. Says Shisui, what are you doing? Well, you see, young Shisui, how can we trust you in Uchiha when you just told us that the Uchiha were planning a rebellion? So, we're gonna have to make sure you're not a problem in this fight. As Danzo says, so we're gonna need to borrow your eyes. Shisui says, never, as 2 more kunais fly at him. He uses his Genjutsu, Mangekyo Sharingan, to ensure and to escape. Rimuru jumping back and forth, transforming into a grasshopper as he exits the building, and follows Shisui as he's running to a waterfall to try to get some rest. We switch over to Itachi's perspective. After the meeting, there was a manhunt for Shisui in the village. Itachi was attempting to warn him and tell him to leave Konoha. Try to get to the hidden mist, or the sand even. As he begins running up to a waterfall, as he sees Rimuru, Shisui's student, who he's seen around him fairly often, and Shisui. Shisui leans back and falls over the waterfall. As Itachi runs up and asks Rimuru, "What's going on? What just happened?" As he sees Rimuru's eyes are bleeding, with his eyes closed. As Rimuru says, "Itachi, I need you to get your brother and leave. Go to Konoha. Rent a hotel room. But after that, I'm going to need you to buy a house, buy a condo, buy anything, just to not come back to the Uchiha clan village." Itachi is saying, okay, telling that Rimuru was very serious about this. As Itachi runs to get Sasuke, and within an hour, they're in Konoha. Now, we switch back to Rimuru's perspective before Shisui fell off the cliff. Shisui sits down at the waterfall as Rimuru jumps off a branch and says, "Hello, Sensei." Since they are in the Uchiha compound, Shisui's worried for his student's health and tells him, "Rimuru, you can't be here. Go tell your father that the Uchiha are planning something bad. And get out of this village. If they know you're here, they could use you as a hostage." Shisui, "I heard everything. I was there." "What? You weren't there. I never sensed your presence." "You know me better than that. I've studied under you for too long for you to be able to sense my presence." Shisui saying, "I haven't sensed him in months. Fuck. I was in the rafters at the meeting. I was on the wall as an ant. I saw everything, but I could not step in. If I stepped in, they would kill me with you, and me being dead would send the Hokage on a rampage." Shisui realizing that Rimuru's intelligence has been off the charts for so long. He was nearly on par with him, or maybe even Shikamaru, the kid Naruto's been playing with for a while. As he says, "You know, you're really smart for your age, kiddo." "I'm not a kiddo, you should know that by now. I can make par on you with a Tutomoe." He says, "You're right. Rimuru, I need you to promise me something. I need you to promise me you'll kill my clan." Rimuru's saying, "But no, we can't do that. We can just imprison them. We can get the Yonbu, even though they are attacking you. They want the best for the village. Danzo's a little power hungry, but he'll still do it. We can lock him up." She's saying, "No, you need to kill them. If you do not kill them, they will kill your father." A tear drips from Rimuru's eyes and says, I promise. But I cannot kill my friends, Itachi or Sasuke." If you didn't know, which you didn't because I didn't mention it, Sasuke and Naruto and Rimuru have been hanging out because Shisui's been around, and that's also Rimuru's mentor. Not Rimuru, Itachi. So they've been hanging out and learning different stuff from Naruto, since he has been learning the Rasengan, the Flying Raijin, things like that. And as he's doing this, he hears something just crazy come out of Rimuru's mouth. "I won't kill my friends, Sasuke or Itachi." Shisui's eyes widen and says, Even if they aren't my closest friends. I can't kill people you know you regret me to kill. And Jisui says, that should be fine. Pretty sure they were opposed to the idea anyway. Rimuru saying, okay then, I can do it. Jisui then rips out his eyes, and then ripping out Rimuru's eyes, knowing he has high pain tolerance, and one of the most incredible regeneration factors he's ever seen. He implants them within Rimuru's eyes. Rimuru didn't even flinch during this entire thing. When they're put into his eyes, they evolve into the Reni Sharingan, the Ren version that can do infinite Tsukiyomi? Yeah. He now has all the abilities in Uchiha would, except he can revert his eyes into any stage of the Sharingan. Even if it's not his Sharingan, he can make it Kakashi's, Madora's, any of them. He can go at Ultimate, on Gekyo, anything. Eternal, Renegon, Reni Sharingan. Yeah, he can do it all. Because of certain things that will happen here soon. So when they're put into his eyes, we see something phenomenal happen. Both of his eyes turned into Reni Sharingans, something he's never seen before. Shisui smiles due to the fact that he did implant his own eyes into one of Rimuru's eyes into his own, that way he could see him as he felt. He sees and he says to himself, that just gives me more faith in you. As he falls back over the cliff, Itachi runs up, and that whole thing happens. So Rimuru falls to the ground and cries blood for 3 hours. But when the tears run out, he opens his eyes. It's the Itachi's ultimate Mangekyo Sharingan. Yeah, boy. Yep, we'll bring that shit in. Okay. Now, do you know what mask do we want to use? I'm gonna go find a mask he can use. Be back. Okay. This is his mask, except that the streaks are blue. Okay. Okay. Where was that? He puts on a mask. And when after crying for 3 hours, he sees a status screen. It says, you have unlocked 7 new abilities. Let me go figure out what these I listed. Okay. I'll pause the recording till I find it. Jinx, I'm not going to tell you the abilities yet. That is going to be a teaser for next episode. When he stops crying, he sees a status window pop up. I'm only going to tell you one skill. He's learned the skill transformation. That's 1 out of 7. He reads the description of the skill. You know the status window in solo leveling? It's kind of like that, except it displays Rimuru's skills. He sees he has unlocked the skill transformation. What does he mean? What do you mean unlocked? He looks at the skill window and sees that he has at least 100 skills he can unlock. And says, I'll check that out later. He swipes over and he reads the description of the skill transformation. Alter your body in any way you can imagine. He puts on a mask. The one I just showed you. He puts on a mask. Actually, I'm going to tell you 2 of the abilities he has. One of the abilities he unlocked was called it was called Sharingan Shifter. And he can shift the Sharingan to any form it has taken ever, which means it might be unlocking some new forms. And one of the other ability he unlocked was transformation. There were 5 other abilities you don't know about. So he puts on the mask I showed you earlier. He changes his hair color to black. and you head to the Uchiha village. I know this was a long one, and originally, I don't know if you can believe it, this was a 15-minute long video. I know. I just made more detail. And if you want the next episode, let me know who you want Rimuru to be shipped with. If you fuckers say Sakura, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. I'm not a Sakura hater. I just don't see how we can make him and Sasuke are friends. So that's his bae. And I just don't want to see a Rimuru Sadara incident. Because actually, let me know if you guys want me to do Boruto. The dual wielding demon, JK. Full name of dual wielding demon is actually. I'm gonna talk for a second. I'm recording this at 1:41 a.m. That is not good, my friends. This completely eliminates my chances of having a social life. Saturday, December 5th. I'm doing work on a Saturday. Be thankful. Oh, yeah, and the red eyes in the thumbnail? That's because he has the Sharingan. Oh, yeah. Well, the dual wielding demon is out. Peace. Oh, and, I'm in a joint channel. I am Sorcery of the Red Sand. Go check out the Akatsuki. We have some other cool guys over there. Ace May, Karma, What If Karma, Phoenix Turf. I don't know about his channel name. But, and there's also Genki. So, yeah, go check them out. Peace, my demons, and bye.